Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Yeah, good afternoon to you guys. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Tim Allen, and there's Charlie Houston. Some people call him Chicago Charlie.
Mitch has been calling me the Gentle Giant recently.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, ace out that Chicago thing.
I think so. I like the Gentle Giant. I think it rolls off the tongue a little better. It's a little easier.
We need to get you converted.
All right.
I
mean, I've told people, it's like, I still love the Brewers. I grew up going to Brewers games. That's been my team since I was little. I'm born and raised in Wisconsin. I love the Bucks. It's just I didn't go to.
You became a Cub fan in 16.
No, I was rooting for them before then too. I was a big fan. I like Darwin Barney. I like Alfonso Soriano when he was with the Cubs. Like before then too, I was still a little bit of a fan. But the Brewers were what I grew up with. The Bucks are what I grew up with. I just didn't go to Packers games growing up, so that's a little harder. That's been a little different of a transition for me, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there, Tim. Don't worry.
And we are getting a little bit closer to this holiday weekend, and a lot of you guys are doing some fun stuff. We tend to work holidays and weekends, a lot of us in this industry, which is cool. That we signed on for. It's fine. And I'm used to leaving, family get-togethers, passing up on a weekend here or there. But Charlie, you're headed up northern portion of our state.
About as north as you can go. The exact kitty corner of this state. We're going up by Lake Superior, all the way up on the coast. I've passed up a few vacations over the past couple months, so it's nice to get one now. It's cool.
I just talked to a friend of mine who is headed to Door County.
All right. That's usually where me and my girlfriend go for the 4th of July weekend. But this year we were like, let's go the other way. Let's go the opposite side. So I love Door County too.
Okay. I've never done the Door County thing.
Never?
Oh,
Door County's nice. I bet you like Door County. A lot of good wineries up there, good breweries too. It's gorgeous, just being on the coast, basically wherever you are. It's the lake, but you're still on the coast. It's nice.
You can go to Lake Geneva.
Lake Geneva's nice too. That's a little more posh. That's the fancy people.
I think, I don't know. I've done a lot of work in Lake Geneva, actually, for some of the radio stations, some of the bands that I've been with. We've done a lot of work out in Lake Geneva. So right. I don't know if it's that hoity-toity, but maybe. I know the prices are conducive to a little up on economics. And then you have the Wisconsin Dells, the La Crosse area. Where is a cool place to kind of go for the weekend here in the state? There's a ton. Believe me, there's a ton. All the lakes, and I know my cousin used to have a little place on Green Lake. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you where it is at this point.
Don't recognize the name of that.
Not that far from Milwaukee, I don't think. I don't recall it being a long drive, but it rained oh my goodness, it rained.
Okay, it's up by Ripon and Pleasant Point. I know where that is. So it's not all that far up there. Not too far.
And that was cool. Cool little lake. I've done tubing. You ever been on a tubing?
I have been tubing, not in a long time, but I've been tubing for sure.
I've done the canoeing.
I love a good canoe trip. Or kayaking.
That was painful.
You don't like canoeing? Why don't you like canoe?
Oh my goodness! I grew up in a canoe. I was probably born in a canoe.
I see.
We had a bunch of stuff in Mauston, where Grandma lived. That's where my folks are from. My mother's from New Lisbon. My father's from Mauston, and right there on the Lemonware River is where I would just take just bored, no ball game on. I'd have my Sporting News newspaper, and my brother would be fishing, or I'd take the canoe out, and just because I'm bored. And then we would take that from the Lemonware River and portage the canoe. Oh my gosh, how awful. That apparently that means you pick the canoe up and you walk it over to another water mass, if you will. It's just, I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm emotionally scarred for life.
That's fair. I think it's also when you're a kid, that sounds like something that's just boring, you just go do that because you're bored throughout the day.
Just bored.
But
You're
nowadays, like that sounds like a great day. Just go to sit on a canoe with a book or with a magazine or something and just relax for the entire day. Come on.
Oh man, so I spent enough time at the Boston Public Library, just grabbing any sports book I could. Some of them I haven't returned yet. They're about 50 years late.
Assume they gave up on chasing you down.
I'm thinking, yes, the statute of limitations may have run out. Hitting the secondhand shops in some of those little cities. Now that I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing a rummage sale at old lady Johnson's house out near Tomahawk or something.
It's always the coolest stuff too.
Oh, exactly. And a lot of sports stuff and, fine little goodies. Baseball, a lot of my baseball cards are purchased at rummage sales throughout the state. What about the Minocqua area? That's pretty cool. I've done that.
I'm not too familiar with the Minocqua area.
It's like I would consider that like a mini Wisconsin Dells, maybe.
Okay. I can picture
a real touristy sort of, and I mean, Wisconsin just has so many little cool places that I don't know if you could get them all in a lifetime, but yeah, you can hit up that Nicolay Law Talk and Text line if you want and throw an idea out there for some other folks that maybe are like me that are just looking for a place to go, things to do that might be a little different, a little cool. 414-677-1250. I do have the All-Star break coming up, and I have no plans. And as I said the other day to you, Charlie, I would love to just walk down Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah, get on
downtown. I may end up doing that.
414 on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line says Ladysmith, Wisconsin.
Ladysmith, okay.
That's
what's up there.
It's in literally the middle of the state, like as middle as you can go. It's by Glen Flora, Bruce, Wisconsin. A lot of places I've never heard of. It looks like a cute little like lake town. Just classic. It looks like it's got good food. Seems like a lot of people are calling them out for that. So yeah, there you go. You can head out to Ladysmith.
What about that little square? I experienced this not that long ago, a year ago or so, in Stevens Point, the like the town square or whatever they call it. I thought that was super cool. I'd never done that before.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, and you can walk in and out of bars with open end talks too. And I thought that was fun.
That's always fun.
That's always and not have to worry about anything. But I mean, there's just so many little things. Just a cabin up north. How about that? Just pick a spot. Mm-hmm. Jet skiing, pontoon boating, all of that sort of thing. So yeah. Drop some hints for some other folks here, and maybe they'll get some ideas. That All-Star break, I may end up in the Dells. I'm not sure.
Yeah, why not? Go for it. I think it'd be a good time.
I mean, just a classic Wisconsin thing. I will tell you this, in going to Arizona for a million years, they don't do corner bars. There's just hardly any little corner bars there like there are here. One of my favorite things to do in the state is to day drink a little bit, have a couple beers, right?
Enjoy it. Yeah.
You order the burger and fries that comes in a plastic basket with the wax paper.
Yep.
You see how much grease is on the bottom, or they lay a pickle in there.
You don't worry about that though when you're eating at those types of places.
You don't care. Right?
Grease and calories are non-existent.
Yes, and just there's old Gus down at the end of the bar. He's retired and he's just reading his newspaper and got Wheel of Fortune on the TV, and there's a couple of ladies over there playing the gambling machines, and two dudes playing pool.
That's the place to be, man.
That is the place to be.
Grab some pull tabs and have yourself a good afternoon.
That's right. But a lot of people traveling over the weekend, and the Brewers will be traveling as well after tonight's game and tomorrow afternoon's game. They're headed to Arizona and then St. Louis for a big 5-game series in St. Louis. But last night, Brewers got the victory. Speaking of Brewers, in about an hour from right now, we're going to catch up with my friend and former Brewer, Scooter Gennett. I have him on usually once a year, and just to catch up with Scoot and see what's going on. I really want to ask him he's made the transition from player to civilian, if you will. How much does he stay up on baseball? How much does a retired baseball player stay up on baseball? And certainly he's played for both of these teams, Brewers and the Reds. And the Brewers got a 7. We'll have that next hour. 7-2 win last night. Are you starting to rethink about Brandon Sproat and how good he may be? I don't think he's great right now, but you can tell he's going to be good, can't you? Or am I being?
No, he's a stud. I've been really excited about him since they made the trade for him. Everybody was talking about Jet Williams, but with all these other trades that the Brewers have made in the past, it's been that second guy. I think you can see that happening right now with these trades. It's Brandon Sproat, Shane Drowan that is showing up, who's pitching tonight. That's going to be really exciting to see what he can do too, because he's been so much fun to watch. But Brandon Sproat just goes out there with his demeanor like he's confident or that he's calm. One or the other. I think it's a little bit of both. Yeah. But that he goes out there and feels like nothing, even when it's going wrong, when everything is happening that you don't want to happen as a starting pitcher, he looks like he's ready to handle that every single time. And he tends to get through a lot of those moments. And you can see that the Brewers pitching staff, the Brewers coaching staff is starting to buy into that from him as well by giving him a 6th inning in this game, which you haven't seen them do all year long. It's been, even if he's pitching really well, that 5th inning, you cut him off, you put in Chad Patrick, and you let Chad Patrick run. They gave him the 6 yesterday, and yeah, it didn't end up being as great as people expected it to be, but you gave it to him. And I think that's a really huge step from Pat Murphy and this coaching staff.
Well, on that note, we weren't going to go with that one first, but let's go with that sound bite first about that 6th inning. I did not agree with that. I made that clear on the post-game show. I didn't freak out about it last night. I wouldn't have made that move. I would have sat back and said, hey, man, 5 innings, 1 run. You threw 32 pitches in the first inning. And then you start getting your thing together, and you get through 5 in the 1 run. I would not have gone to the 6th, but here's Murph on the 6th inning.
We made a decision we were going to let him have that 6th inning. You know what I mean? It was a big decision, and it wasn't an easy decision. He was convicted on doing it, which was great. So we kind of did it for him more than maybe what we should have done, but we had intent, and the intent was this could be great for the player. He made 2 decent pitches. They hit him hard, but then he hung in there and struck out for the day. I mean, it wasn't Patrick wasn't. We weren't going to put Patrick in that position to face 2 lefties. He had faced the day and had success against them.
So, I mean, again, if this was early September, no way they allow Sproat to make that call, because it appeared to me,
no shot,
based on that Brandon Sproat said, hey, man, I want this 6th inning. And he ends up giving up back-to-back doubles for a run, does record the out, and then they lifted him for Chad Patrick. How about Patrick? Back-to-back nights, inning and a third on Monday, inning and 2/3 last night, both scoreless. So that's a great sign. But Brandon Sproat overall, here's Murph.
I mean, they did a good job of fouling pitches off and running his pitch count up. But I thought he was, once again, very, very good. Kept us in the ball game in those 5th and the 6th, or the 4th and the 5th, to me, were his big innings. You know what I mean? That he I guess 3 innings in a row, right? He didn't let in a base run.
Retired 9 in a row.
Yeah, retired 9 in a row after the leadoff walk to Friedel. And that was impressive, And especially that 4th inning, or was it the 3rd? 3rd inning, struck out the side, 3 pretty good hitters. I was really, really happy with him.
Well, and that's the youth of this starting rotation. It's funny how they can allow some wiggle room and say, and we're gonna let him give him that 6th inning, just because we want to see maturation from him. We want to see him take another step. We want him to experience all of this. It's just brilliant. The way they handle these young pitchers is just outstanding.
And it's worked. I think you've seen it at the beginning of the season to what we've seen now from Brandon Sproat. You just see how much more confident he is as a pitcher in his own skills. Again, he still had that kind of demeanor going into the beginning of the season, but also felt like he got kind of thrown into that. And now it feels like he is a true part of this rotation. It's no longer, oh, Sproat, Gasser, Dro, and all these guys are expendable at some point when your other guys get healthy. No, Sproat is taken out of that group. And now you look at Gasser, you look at Dro, and you look at Coleman Crow instead, and some of these other pitchers, and you say, Brandon Sproat, in my mind, has solidified himself as part of that group for the rest of the season.
3 flat ERA for Sproat in his last 4 starts.
2.9 in the month of June.
Yeah, I mean, he's been really making some progress here. But you know, these guys now back-to-back nights. Gasser, 28 pitches in the first inning. Sproat yesterday, 32 pitches in the first inning. That's the next step, is the pitch efficiency. How many foul balls has there been by Cincinnati Red hitters in the series so far? And we're only 2 games in of the 4. It's been a ton. That knockout blow, that put away pitch, however you want to, whatever you want to call it, that's part of the next step that these guys need to take. So Sproat, another nice performance. He's not going anywhere from the rotation. We'll get to Sproat versus Drowan versus Gasser versus Henderson in just a little bit. But offensively, how about a 4-run fourth on 6 base hits? Okay, we'll take that. Murphy overall on his offense.
I have no idea if the meeting had anything to do with it. I just had to express myself, you know. I really don't. But, I mean, we didn't hit the ball very hard, you know, but the kid was masterful at pitching on the edges. If you look at the first strikeouts to Yelly and to Churio and to Turang, like every ball's on the edge. And he's going breaking ball, change up, breaking ball, change up, occasional heater. And when you throw that much off speed and you're hitting everything on the corners, you have to say, well, I got to just give in and go the other way. And the guys made a commitment to doing that. And we got a ton of hits the other way, albeit not hard. We executed and still could have added more on than we did. But yeah, but there was a lot of discipline there tonight in their ABs and our ABs, and they pitched well against us, but we got some breaks. We got some things go the other way for, you know, go our way for us with some soft hits. The intent was good. And Churio is a great example. He had 2 really tough at-bats, was really frustrated. Then he put up 3 great at-bats.
Well, and that's what I would do against the Brewers. It would be junk city early in the game. The problem with Loader last night is he didn't adjust quick enough that second time through, or, you know, maybe, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 batters in. He didn't give up on the off-speed stuff and start sprinkling in more high. That's what I'd have done. If you look at, let's see, Yelich, Churio, and Turang, through their first 2 at-bats, collectively, those 3 guys, Yelich, Churio, and Bryce Turang, they were 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts in their first 2 ABs.
Right.
And it's because it's just junk city. And when you land on corners, you got the Brewers. That's that. Mm-hmm. You're going to have the Brewers if you're accurate with your off-speed pitches. But as Murph just said, okay, fine, just sell out now. He's going to throw the break and stuff. We'll have to just look for that, which is not a great thing to do as a hitter. You should always look fastball, adjust to the breaker. But in this case, I think they did sell out a little bit and start looking for the breaking stuff because Loader had success with that. That's the cat and mouse game I love about baseball, is the adjustment game in the game. And Loader, he didn't adjust quick enough. Well, and they got to him.
It was also, it's kind of cool to see this Brewers team where with these off-speed pitches to be able to kind of turn around and just, like you said, sell out and go kind of full power with some of these swings. And you get the Churio homer from yesterday, you get the Bryce Turang homer from 2 days ago. You get these batters that they can change that mindset, and then all of a sudden it feels like they become a different batter and they can really tap into a different aspect of their swing. And that's really important for this Brewers team too, that you have so many players that are able to kind of adapt to these different types of pitchers that are pitching to them. And I think you've seen it up and down throughout this lineup that different guys have been able to do that throughout the season. Garrett Mitchell for a period really struggled with the high fastballs that were up and inside on him. And lately it doesn't feel like he's had the same kind of problems with that. Sal Frelick has adjusted his swing really well in the past month. That's been huge for this team. You've just seen guys be able to adapt to when teams are starting to figure them out. All of a sudden the Brewers are a new baseball team.
You mentioned Sal Frelick. He is starting to get back to being more like Sal Frelick. And you see a 3-hit game last night, almost took one out. And he's just been dynamite this month. In the month of June. We're now here in July. Flip the calendar here. But Pat Murphy on Sal Frelick.
He's locked in. He's made a personal decision. I'm gonna play every pitch. I'm going to be locked in every pitch. I'm not going to worry about what my numbers say. I'm going to play every pitch. And he's adjusted his ball flight where you saw tonight, it was the sprinkler system, right? We talked about it last night. Bang, line drive the other way. Bang, line drive the other way. Third time up, or then he hit a fly ball to center, but hitting balls the other way, staying inside it. Then he got a ball in, did the same thing, stayed inside it, but hit it true, fair for a double. It's just how it goes. It usually starts with being committed to be inside the baseball. So,
yeah, and you know who else does that? Now, I'm not comparing these two players. Andrew Vaughn does that.
Mm-hmm.
Looks middle, looks away. Looks middle, looks away. Someone's going to hang something up, turn, and burn. That's Andrew Vaughn. With Frelick, that's just his game is going to be that scrappy right fielder. That's just his game. Is he going to be a superstar? I think the chances of him even being an all-star at any point in his career, right on the fringe, probably not. Wouldn't you agree?
I would think I do. I think that's also just related to the fact that looking at the fan voting from the All-Star game this year, it's just not going to happen with any Brewer unless you are the best player in the league, and then all of a sudden they'll give you some love. But if you're not that, you're not getting that all-star love. So if you're also Sal Frelick on top of that, who just doesn't really have a super high ceiling, in my opinion, right now, like you're saying, he's going to be the scrappy outfielder that will consistently be there for you. It's going to be hard to take him out of any kind of rotation you have in the outfield. At the same time, there's a ceiling there, and that you have other guys in your farm system that can take that ceiling higher.
You have to have players like Sal Frelick to win a World Series. You have to have that guy.
He's the Kike Hernandez of the LA Dodgers. That's the type of player that you're getting out of Sal Frelick. Maybe not defensively as versatile, but still a really great defender, a guy who's going to give you those high energy moments in these bigger moments that I think you expect from a Sal Frelick.
Jersey and uniform all dirty, face full of dirt, crashing into walls, making a diving play, coming up with a couple of slap base hits, a stolen base, draw a walk. You got to have those guys. I know a lot of people have been down on Sal Frelick a little bit, but he's now back over 250. And we've talked about numbers before. We shouldn't be celebrating. Oh, gee, Tim, the guy's hitting 252. Yay. No, but from where he came from and what he truly is, he's on a roll. It looks like Sal's back. It does. Is he going to hit 20 bombs this season? Probably never. But all of those things that I pointed out there, that's what you get with Sal Frelick. You need those guys to win at a high level. On the other hand, these young pitchers, Sproat, Drowan, Gasser, Henderson. Henderson's not back yet. Looks like potentially next week or shortly thereafter.
Fingers crossed. We've gotten a lot of guys this season in the Brewers pitching system where it feels like they're ready to come back, and then it's another 2 more weeks, so you got to wait.
Well, if someone has to come out of the rotation, then is it Sproat?
No, it's Drowan, right?
Is it Drowan?
It's got to be Drowan.
Is it Gasser?
Yeah, but also, again, I just don't trust Gasser to be that bullpen guy. Drowan's been the bullpen guy. Just move him down to the bullpen.
I can tell you this, big of a Robert Gasser fan as I am, I think he might be the one that would be out of this rotation.
I mean, they did send him down to Arizona, and like you said, I think it's probably because they want to try to work him into that reliever type of role as soon as possible.
No, let's clear that up now. That was a roster manipulation is what that was. They're headed to Arizona. He was going to throw his bullpen, shortly anyway. Just throw your bullpen down there, meet the team down there, pick up the flight on Sunday out of Arizona, and the 27th man, you don't need to spend 10 days down there because, and the only way you can come back less than 10 days is an injury. That doesn't apply on the 27th man for the doubleheader Tuesday.
All right, there you go.
So it was just almost like a free pitcher because you can recall him on Tuesday to go insert him back into the rotation. I think it's just a brilliant move. So they bring up Garrett Stallings yesterday, and rightly so. We were saying, ooh, what's going on? Robert Gasser, just simply a free pitcher. Were you going to use Gasser prior to the Tuesday doubleheader? Nope.
Probably not.
So you get a free shot at a pitcher here, and it happened to be Garrett Stallings. Of those three, we'll talk on the other side of the break here. Drowan, Sproat, Gasser, which one? What order do you put those guys in? It's a tough call, though. We'll talk after the break here. You're listening to Wisconsin Sports Daily here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. There's Charlie Houston, Tim Allen, in for Sparky today on a Wednesday. you a little bit closer to a holiday weekend. We're hanging out with you guys throughout the state of Wisconsin here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily. No Sparky today, inching a little bit closer to his triumphant return.
You think he's going to be chill on Friday when he comes back, or you think he's going to be amped up from not being able to talk sports for 4 days?
Oh, yeah, he'll be amped up. There'll be NBA free agents.
You don't think he's going to be nice and relaxed? You know, he was on vacation.
No, something to gripe about with Christian Yelich, or I think we've surpassed the weekend of him going crazy about Craig Counsell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got through that. We didn't have to hear about it. He's probably going to come on and say something about it, though. I think he has to.
Okay. He will. I don't know how transparent he is with the travel baseball thing for the kid.
He might give an update. He like tells me about it. He doesn't not too often talks about it on air.
Okay, good.
But he tells me about it.
Yeah, that's good. So Sparky back on Friday.
Yep.
At Summerfest.
Tomorrow, Mitch Thunder Nellis at Summerfest, not Thunderfest. He wishes it was Thunderfest. Right. He's going to be at Summerfest. He's going to do the Mason Crosby show from there, and then we'll also do Wisconsin Sports Daily from 2 to 4. So Mitch Thunder Nellis from noon to 4 out at Summerfest tomorrow by the Hole-in-One Challenge, sponsored by X Golf.
Yeah, Mitch all over the place here. New additions to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Stay in tune for that. Change is coming. That's the radio biz. It just happens. Nicolay Law Talk and text line at 414-677-1250 throughout the afternoon today. Throw out there your the best holiday weekend spots in the state of Wisconsin.
920 says Chain of Lakes in Wapaka, Wisconsin.
Have not done that.
Let's see. Chain of
Probably some jet skiing going on, pontoon, water skiing.
All right, that looks nice.
That's what I'm going to guess.
Yep, it's right, like you said, right by Wapaka. Chains O Lakes King, and then King, Wisconsin's right there too.
Okay,
they got lots of bars around there that are like highlighted as like popular.
Perfect. There's those cheeseburgers we were talking about.
Exactly.
Can you throw in a pizza, Gladys? Yeah, one of those places.
Exactly. If we stay on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line and we go back to what we were talking about with the Milwaukee Brewers, Jeff in Milwaukee says Ms. Harrison, Woody Henderson, Ash, Patrick, Hall, Sproat, Drowan, Gasser, Uribe, McGill. 12 pitchers for the playoffs. Does it get any better than that? Appreciate a comment. Thanks.
Okay, so run that by me again.
So he has the starting rotations: Ms. Harrison, Woody Henderson, and I think Sproat, and then a bullpen of Ash, Patrick, Hall, Drowan, Gasser, Uribe, McGill. And in the playoffs, it obviously changes a little bit, but that's the group.
Yeah. So Gasser's not involved here.
Right? He is. He's there. So he has, again, Ash, Patrick. So Aaron Ashby, Patrick, Hall, Sproat, Drowan, Gasser, Uribe, and McGill in that bullpen.
Yeah, I don't know how these guys would transition to bullpen. Drowan, Sproat, Gas, those types of guys. I'm not sure how they would transition over.
So you think like Grant Anderson would be in that group before some of those guys just because he's a bullpen arm? Jaron Koenig?
I would say DL Hall, Koenig.
Yep.
Would be guys that I would sort of lean toward more than I would, because Sproat, he can be a little bit wild. We saw it last night where he just can't put away. He might walk a guy or two. When he was missing last night, he wasn't missing close.
No, but also he can figure that out, can he? Like Jacob Mizorowski figured that out, and I know he's obviously a different caliber of pitcher than almost everybody else in Major League Baseball. At the same time, when you have the Brewers pitching coaching staff behind you, I mean, I trust those guys to help any of those dudes figure it out. And I keep saying, throughout the first 3 months of the season here for the Brewers, I've seen Brandon Sproat become a new player every month. Like, he's getting better every single month, and the Brewers are trusting him to do that. I trust him to be able to get that out of his system.
He may be one of those hard throwing relievers and have success doing it, but you better be on. There's also something to think about. If again, I don't want to skip over the whole second half of the season, just go directly to the playoffs. But my goodness, you might have a quick hook on one of these starters. if by chance there's some bad luck, some bad calls, just a bad outing for a guy like Harrison or Woody or something, and then you have to go to that pen early, you don't have time in a postseason game to wait that out, to wait for those guys to settle back in. You might have to go to that bullpen. You're going to need some length. You recall in the playoffs some years ago, Woody would come out of that pen.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe Sproat falls into that category.
Maybe, but again, I just don't want it feels so tough to say he falls into that, and especially when I don't think I trust Brandon Woodruff to stay healthy for the rest of the season too, and that at some point he's going to get tired again too, just because of the way his injuries have been throughout his career, especially as of recent. I don't expect him to last. Like, Sproat's there. Like, he's going to be there. Like, I think he's that guy that if you need, for some reason, again, Woody's not there. If for some reason one of these other starters and Logan Henderson isn't healthy because he hasn't been able to be healthy the entire time too, it has to be Sproat in that third spot. I just can't regulate him to that bullpen right away.
We're splitting hairs here on young arms, but if I had to put them in order, at least the three that are healthy and active now, I put it as Sproat, Drowan, then Gasser, believe it or not.
I think I would too, but also, again, I just trust Drowan to be a bullpen arm more than I trust Gasser or Sproat to be, so and that changes a little bit with...
Okay, so you would put Gasser over Drowan just because...
I think so if you're talking about like just rotational type of stuff, but I also think those two guys have a really close gap in my mind, and then there's a really big gap between them and Sproat. Like, Sproat, again, has centered himself as the better of those three guys.
And I would say Henderson is this, but do we know?
Yeah, I think so. Like, but he has to be healthy to be in that discussion. When he's not healthy, when he's never a part of this rotation, when he's barely a part of a minor league rotation because he can't stay healthy down there either, you can't trust him to be that guy. So until he's healthy, the moment he's back in this rotation, we can start talking about it. But he's not right now.
In 6 or 7 weeks, we may have the same conversation, exact conversation, and then hopefully it would even be a more difficult decision. Which two come out of the rotation,
right?
Of Henderson, Sproat, Drowan, Gasser.
They're gonna have to. You're gonna have to make some tough moves here.
But I have to wait until I see Henderson get back on the horse and have some success. He's got some catching up to do. He does. And in terms of endurance and settling into a 5 or 6 man rotation. He's good, don't get me wrong. Some say he has the highest ceiling out of all of those young arms.
People didn't want to trade him when he was getting brought up in these trade discussions for these bigger stars. It was Henderson and then one of your other guys, and people were like, oh, I don't know about Henderson. Weren't really worried about Luis Pena getting traded or Luis Lara getting traded. It was Henderson that people were stopping.
We have to find out what Henderson is again, don't we? We can't just assume he's going to have success. He's had nothing but success in the big leagues.
And you would also think that with the success of some of the other guys that have come up in a Jacob Misiorowski and the development of a Kyle Harrison in the span of a summer and a couple months here at the start of the season, that it would be easier for people to say, to have that mindset that I think you and I have of let's wait and see until what he can do as a long-term option in this rotation. But I think there's a lot of people that are just sold on him. Tommy, I know, is just sold on him and is ready. Like, when he's back in, he's that guy to be there.
And I hope he's right.
But I also can't trust that right now.
Yeah, I agree. I need to see a little bit of that because what we've seen out of Sproat, what we've seen out of Drowan, look at his numbers. I mean, just over a 3 ERA. Do I have that right? 3.1, 3.2 range, and a 3-3 mark, 3-2 mark. I mean, he's been good. He's flying under the radar a little bit. Now, again, there's going to be some growing pains and things are going to happen with you. That's rare that's happened all season.
Right.
I mean, you think about these young pitchers. We talked about it prior to the season on the hot stove shows, in the Arizona shows. We were saying, there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some rough outings, only because they're young, not because they're not talented, because they're young. And we're going to see 2 1/3 of 6-run ball, and it's going to be a mess, and we're going to have to deal with that. We just haven't seen that.
No.
I don't know how this is happening here.
Brandon Sproat has, for a majority of his games, given up 3 or less runs. Like, he's been really good so far this season in terms of being a 4 or 5 guy in your rotation. Robert Gasser has not had those big blow up games as often as people want to give him credit for. You're really safe with a lot of young pitchers in this rotation, and that is such a luxury to have.
And I don't know how they're doing it. Honestly,
Chris
I don't.
Hook, baby. It's Chris Hook, isn't it?
You have to credit the player for sure for doing some hard work and for having that God-given talent. But this just is sort of the anomaly when you pile this many young pitchers together. You just expect this is the big leagues, man. You just expect that there's going to be some tough times here. It just hasn't been with the starting staff.
You compare it to another Wisconsin sports teams, the Packers and their wide receivers. That's what you've had is tough times sometimes with that young group of guys because you just pile a bunch of them into a room and say, figure it out. It's been the exact opposite for this Brewers team. They've been able to get through it. The Packers had to eventually say, oh, you know what? We need to set the hierarchy ourselves by paying guys, trading guys, letting guys leave in free agency. The Brewers just keep adding guys and say, all right, well, this is a good problem to have for us.
So impressive. It's just been completely impressive. And that's a good chunk of the success where the Brewers are at right now. 21 games over 500. Cubs are in play today. Does that scare you?
Dansby Swanson has 2 home runs again today. He had 2 home runs yesterday, so he's starting to get going. The offense in general starting to get going.
Yeah, Brewers did a nice job against Swanson over the weekend. He was on fire in New York and now back on fire against San Diego.
He was also really, really bad the entire season before that, though. So this is very recently. Yeah, $190 has like a 640 OPS. It's going to skyrocket after these past couple of series, but still nothing that impressive.
Yeah, so again, Cubs, we talked about it yesterday. They're a pretty good baseball team. Now, I would not count out them making this a really tight race down the stretch. So we'll find out. And then the Cardinals, we're going to find out a lot about them next week with a 5-game series in 4 days. Take a break and come back, continue our conversation, more Brewers conversation throughout the afternoon as well. We're in for Sparky today. Charlie Houston, Tim Allen, Wisconsin Sports Daily here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Coming up next hour, we'll catch up with former Brewer second baseman Scooter Gennett. I want to ask him what he would do against Mizorowski if he was in a Reds uniform and had to lead off the game against Miz.
I feel like the answer has to be like retire again. Like that's what I would do.
Yeah, we'll find out. Harley's checking in, true American hero for sure, on the Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250. What's up, Harley?
Hey, Charlie. Hey, Timmy. Number one, best place to vacation in Wisconsin, hands down, Door County.
Door County.
Absolutely.
Okay. I for
Absolutely.
whatever reason, just haven't done it. I don't know why.
Oh,
Just haven't done
Timmy,
it.
you have to. It's only a couple-hour drive. It's like driving into a whole different state. It's so mellow. Well, anyway, when you get a chance, get up there. When it comes to the Cubs, hell yeah, I'm concerned about the Cubs. They have an open checkbook. With their pitching decimated, I wouldn't be surprised if they signed Struble. When you're rating the pitchers, I would go Stroh, Gasser, Drohan. If you're a left-hander, you can pitch till you're 65 years old. But
Jamie Moyer did.
Yeah, my concern, though, when it comes to Gasser or Drohan, flip a coin, really, right now. It's tough to pinpoint, but for the sake of the show and the conversation, I'd go Stroh, Gasser, and then Drohan. Have a good show, guys. Always
Gotcha, Harley. Thank you. Yeah, but again, it doesn't mean that any of these guys suck. That's not what we're saying.
No,
but everything in life has a pecking order,
and they've all been better than we've expected. If we're going to be completely honest, like Gasser, maybe not just because we got a little taste of him 2 years ago that everybody was holding on to, and it just hasn't been that exactly. But all these other guys, like it's been fun to watch the Brewers pitching staff this season for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to set this up. You guys know when I do the fill-in shows here and there, my main job is the post-game show. We all know that. Or if you don't, now you do. Brewers coverage over a couple of decades. But when I do fill in, I kind of go crazy. Yesterday I go a little goofy on having the Super Bowl at Lambeau. I'm going to go goofy again on retiring a jersey number. That sounds simple. No, it's goofy.
It's Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder.
To some, it might be goofy. To some, I should say. Well, we'll make that make sense after the break here. Wisconsin Sports Daily in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Today, there's Charlie Houston, Tim Allen, here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
No. Hold the phone a little bit. No Steve Sparky Pfeiffer today. I apologize for that. Tim Allen, Charlie Usen in for Sparky on Wisconsin Sports Daily inside the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. And we will talk to Scooter Gennett in about a half hour, so stick around for that. If you have a question you want us to pose for the former Brewer and Cincinnati Red, you can hit us up on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line 414-677-1250. When you talk about your favorite players, we've talked about this before, Charlie, about your favorite Brewer players.
Right.
If Molitor and Yount were out of the conversation, we all know that would be the gravitational pull of, favorite all-time favorite Brewer player. But a lot of people during the Scooter Gennett years that he was here, a lot of people love Scooter Gennett.
I think it's just because he had a cool name. Like Scooter Gennett, I think was so awesome to hear in the lineup as a young kid. Like that was just like the baseball name, like one of the most baseball names you could possibly have.
That is a baseball name. Speaking of which, baseball coverage on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years guaranteed. Xfinity, imagine that. Okay, so this can be kind of goofy. I know colleagues, a lot of them, most of them that I've worked with two different companies here in the last many years, have called me a Looney Tune because of this. They mean it. They do. And that's okay. You can disagree. It's all right. I'm not going to lose any sleep because some sports talk show host disagrees with me. Trust me. But I don't bring this up once a year or twice a year because I'm fabricating some, hope to be reaction out of you guys. I'm doing this. I talk about this because I truly, honestly, in my heart of hearts, absolutely believe it's a good idea. So let me start with this. I know the Green Bay Packers have this thing with the fan base. We're in awe because of it over the years. It's generational. The season ticket, waiting in line for season tickets, and you pass down your season. It's just a beautiful thing. It's such a great connection between the fans and that football team. And there's a lot of heritage. There's, a million years of backdrop to build on that. Well, now let's equate that to the Milwaukee Bucks. Certainly not as strong of a bond between Bucks fans and the organization. But there's some, and it's, it was great to get that championship. That helped. But if you're listening in Wausau today, would you say Wausau residents are more connected to the Bucks or the Brewers?
Brewers, probably.
I don't even think it's close. Not even close. You'd probably get a 10-to-1 ratio. More connected to the Brewers. Now, again, we're not going to compare to the Green Bay Packers because that's on another level. That's in the stratosphere. You just can't do that. So now let's go down a notch. But the Brewers' relationship with the residents of Wisconsin, that has been really special. Look at the attendance figures. Look at the market size. And now look at the success. It's just continuing to build. Attendance of, on average, I'm just rough and raw numbers, anywhere between 27 and 32,000 a night on average for 81 home games. In Milwaukee, in the state of Wisconsin, there's something to that. Look at Miami. Look at the Miami Marlins. Look at that market size. And you could talk all day long about, they have other entertainment things. No, forget about that. You've got a huge market. Millions over Milwaukee in the state of Wisconsin. And they still don't have that bond. They do have 2 World Series. I'm jealous at that.
Yeah, but they have empty stadiums for a team
Just
that's pretty
empty.
good right now.
Just
Like that's
empty.
this year, the end of last year, that Miami Marlins team has been fun to watch, and they still can't find ways to fill the stadium because they put it in a town where people just don't love baseball the same way that the people in Milwaukee love baseball.
So I'm not going to mince words on this and call me Looney Tune. That's fine. I want a jersey number retired for the Brewers fans. I do. And we can debate what number that could be. I mean, I would suggest 10 for the 10th man. But Sal Frelick's got that soaked up for a few more years. But I mean it. There should be a jersey retired for the Brewer fan. They did one for the owner. They retired for Bud Selig. Why not the fan? Why not? And you're saying, oh, that's crazy. That's a goofy idea. Well, to some it is. To me, it's not. It makes perfect sense. It's not like this hasn't been done before. I'm not saying follow the Joneses or keep up with the Joneses. I want to keep it about Brewers and Brewers fans. But it should honor the Brewer fan, because if it weren't for the Brewers fans, they wouldn't be here. They just would not be here. In a market this size, if they weren't making money, they would move, and almost did. But what changed? It's the connection to that baseball team. And believe me, when you have food drives and you have relief drives and you have the mural yesterday, and hundreds, if not thousands of fans show up for these Brewer events, block parties, autograph signings, let alone the games, the tailgate, the things that happen around the stadium, that's all part of this. I've used the examples of the Seattle Seahawks, 12th man, the Minnesota Wild, number 1 for the fans. You guys are number 1. That's not feasible in Milwaukee. One is already retired. But there are others. I mean, Sacramento Kings, what did they do with number 6?
They have number 6 retired. The
Why?
Kings, known for having some of the best fans in the NBA, retired the number 6 to honor their
Sixth man.
dedication as the team's 6th man. Sacramento established one of the best traditions in the league with its Light the Beam celebration after every home victory, in tandem with the retiring of number 6.
It's not a crazy idea, folks. It's not. If you disagree, that's fine. But it's not like it's unprecedented. There's other teams that have retired numbers for some goofy reasons. Who was it? Orlando Magic?
They also retired number 6. They have number 6 retired twice because they also retired number 6 for Bill Russell.
Yeah, see? Well, wait, how goofy is that? Take a look at the New York Yankees. You can't find a single digit anymore.
Uh-huh. That's why Aaron Judge wears 99.
Exactly. I mean, there's a ton. I don't know. There's 30 some odd numbers retired in Yankees history. Now, again, Yankees got the heritage and they've got the longevity. But I really believe if this organization wants to really honor the fans, and they say they do, and I believe them, they appreciate the fan base, then I think you guys deserve your number retired. I do. And again, it's coming from a grown man, not some 12-year-old kid running around with baseball cards.
We got some other people giving some numbers that they'd rather have retired than number 10. Nathan in the YouTube dugout chat at WI Sports Radio, you can listen and watch to us on there. He says 00 for the fans. Aaron also in the dugout chat says number 1 he would prefer.
Yeah, but
you can't
Selig, that's already done, right?
I think so. Well, but
Yeah.
hey, the Magic retired 6 twice. Why can't you?
Twice.
And one
There's
for
a
the
team
fans,
that
one for a player that never even played for them.
Then there's a team that retired a jersey number for a player that never even played for them.
Yes, the Miami Heat have retired number 23 in honor of Michael Jordan. In
Yo, you're
2003,
kidding.
they did that
See?
to honor his greatness to the game of basketball.
How goofy is that? Now, that's crazy. That's just selling out and saying he's the best player ever. Well, records are made to be broken. What happens when someone's better?
Right.
LeBron.
Yeah, like a guy that played for your franchise.
like someone that actually played there. Again, if we're comparing it to the others, that would be goofy in my world.
Right. More so than the fans being retired, their numbers being retired. A couple other texts on the Nicolay Law Talking text line 446771250 to get into the show that way. Number 69 from the 4-4 apparently really wants that to be the fans' number too.
Well, they did. According to some, they started in 69 as the Seattle Pilots. I think that's hogwash. The Milwaukee Brewers started in 70. Now, I will bend on this. I used to be hell bent on number 10 for the 10th man on the field. Nine players, baseball's 9. Then you go 10, you go one more. Okay. I would accept 1970.
Okay.
Because that's when the Brewers were born. So number 70.
All right.
Which is a jersey I have hanging up right behind me.
The 534 says 162. They should retire that.
162. That'd be so cool. 81.
Jake from the 4-4 says 0.8. I don't know why he says 0.8.
Oh, for the alcohol threshold.
Probably. In the 920, he has a little bit of a different kind of argument. It says fans having a number retired sounds great until we remember how less than a week ago Cubs fans turned a Brewers home game into a road game. Absolutely cannot retire a number for the fans until we fix that.
But okay, and I understand that point. I do, and it was fixed for a few years here. It only got goofy when the Cubs started getting good again. That's why. And I think this Craig Counsell thing poured fuel on that fire. And now Cub fans want to come up and back their dude. I think that helped in terms of Cub fans coming into AmFam. But that's just a couple of series a year, guys. And that's not that discounts, the other 95% of the series. So I think it'd be just the coolest idea. I think it would commemorate you Brewers fans, which makes this whole thing work. Whether you're in Green Bay or Wausau or Milwaukee, we all know y'all go to Brewers games. That's part of what we do. That's part of what we've done for over 50 years now. And I just think that would be so cool to be up there with number 19 and number 4 and 44 and these guys that and one would say, well, it would break the criteria of jersey number retirements for the Brewers. Well, then change the rule. Then you own the team, change the rule.
Right. You make the rules. Why does it matter?
Yeah, we're making an exception for the fans because we appreciate them. I mean, think of the money you pour into this Brewers team, whether it's a subscription to watch them, whether it is going to the games, whether it's buying the tailgate supplies, buying the concessions, buying the merch, meaning the jerseys and the souvenirs, and let alone the season tickets, and that base is growing. You're just building a new building out there at American Family Field to raise your ticket prices for some really special upper end treatment. This makes all the sense in the world to me. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it if some disagree with me. If the organization wants to laugh at me, that's fine too. They've probably laughed at me many times.
The 574 on the Nicolay Law Talking text line chimes in on the discussion about the Cubs fans overrunning AmFam Field. He says they come to AmFam because Wrigley sucks from a fan convenience experience. I think that's fair. I don't think they're coming because they want to come support the Cubs all that much as they want to go to a baseball game, and it's impossible to go to a baseball game at Wrigley sometimes.
Yeah, well, I think there's some of that. Yeah, and others want to just pour onto this fire that's going, that they know it bugs us. They do know it bugs us. Mm-hmm. And I think Cub fans, a bunch of buddies who get together, let's go rub it into the Brewers and fill that stadium. I think that's some of it too. But how about 70 for the fans? I mean, you'd have to explain it. 10 is easier.
Over here, again, on the Nicolay Law Talking text line, 262 says number 41 after the 40-man roster.
Okay, you could do 41.
That's definitely an uglier number that people won't be bothered by missing if it's given to the fans.
Good old Jim Slayton might not like that one, but okay. I think over the years since I started planting this seed, it's becoming a little more accepted when I talk about it on the air. Because when I first brought this up, ooh, man.
A little bit. 608 says, Tim, it's cheesy as hell. What's the point? Are you going to buy a fan jersey after they make it? What's the point?
Yes, that's what we do. Don't you want to get credit for something? Don't we want to be credited? We want acknowledgement, don't we? We just don't want us to be a number, a bottom line. Oh, they don't see us as people. They see us as dollar signs, or cattle, or the petting zoo behind the screen, behind the cages. I want to be appreciated more than that. I mean, I've heard players call it the petting zoo.
Or at least pretend like they're appreciating us more than that. You don't actually have to, but to throw a number up on the board doesn't change anything for you guys, really, especially if it's 41 like we're talking about, or 70 like we're talking about. Who is going to miss those numbers?
I'll go you one further. They have a Miz t-shirt giveaway tomorrow. Every year, there would be a number 10 fan t-shirt giveaway. Who's that fan that we're honoring? Number 10. How about the bobblehead? Wouldn't you like to be drawn out of the number, out of a barrel?
Have them throw out the first pitch, too?
A full fan bobble giveaway of a fan, of the fan.
That'd be kind of fun.
The Brewers fan.
Yeah, you just get Tim Johnson as you know, bobblehead of Tim Johnson for that year. Yeah. All right. I'm down for that.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I see what you're saying on the cheesy side, on the goofy side. And I would agree with that wholeheartedly if no other professional sports organization ever did it. But a lot of them have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that outlandish. I don't see why it would be outlandish.
Aaron on the WI Sports Radio YouTube chat adds, it would mean more if the Brewers came up with the idea, though. That he says it's
fine. Give it to them. They came up with it.
Well, I think he just means with these pro sport teams. Like what you're saying is that other teams are doing it. That's why it's okay for the Brewers to do it. I think he's saying it's the opposite, that other teams have done it before. So why, doesn't mean as much if the Brewers choose.
Okay, I get it. But it still would. I wouldn't care about what other teams do. I would make it special for here, as special as I could, and I think it would be special. You'd go on the Wall of Honor as the fan. You have to reach certain numbers to get onto the Wall of Honor at AmFam.
Mm-hmm.
We've reached those numbers as fans. Put the metrics right underneath the plaque.
Talk about all the different records the fans attendance break every year, right?
That's right.
The viewing numbers are always record breaking. It always just feels like you're breaking records.
It seems so simple. There's no subsidies and big budgets that have to be used here to do this, is there? Just something I'm missing here, that they couldn't just do this? It'd be cheap as hell to do this.
And you might even be able to get paid for it. Just have somebody sponsor it. Go up there and say, hey, Wendy's, you want to sponsor the Brewers fan retirement? That'd be
Wendy's
awesome.
Fan jersey number retirement.
And then not only do you not have to pay for it, Wendy's will pay for it and give you probably some money to be up there along with that name. And if fans won't care, they'd be fine with that.
Now, part of me, I have to be honest, does think that I'm rather selfish in this. Part of it is I want it for me.
Oh,
I mean, I got to be honest. I want to be acknowledged I want Brewers fans along with me to be acknowledged for what we do for this baseball team. And that whole thing about you're out of line as a fan, when you say we pay those salaries, that's nonsense. You do. I don't look at it as money paying payrolls. I don't look at it that way when I go to Brewers games over the years. I look at it. What am I getting out of this? I'm getting a ball game. I'm getting some social activity. I love the team. There's a lot of things I'm getting. I don't care where the money goes. Go put it in your bucket or put it in your shoe or your bank or pay the payroll. I don't look at it that way. When I go to buy a dinner, I don't care what you do with the money. That's not my deal. If I cared about that, I'd open up my own restaurant. And then I'd worry about what I did with the money I received. I look at it as, what do I get out of what I pay? That's just a philosophical thing. But we should be sort of commended for what we've done for this baseball team. Doug Melvin, I'll still go back to this. Doug Melvin addressed his team 1 year. I think Council was involved with that too. And he had a conversation, I want to say it was out at spring training, about how valuable the relationship is amongst the players and the fans. That connection. And he even said it then. We didn't have those fans, guys, we wouldn't be here. And that's telling that finally, and this was, again, more than a decade ago, but it was telling that someone of that sort of authority finally admitted it. Because most of the time, these guys won't admit it. Giving you credit for their livelihood and paycheck, of course, those guys aren't going to give you credit for that. It's becoming more and more, though, acceptable. Where coaches, players, owners, GMs, they are starting to credit a fan base. This would just be part of that. How to credit you guys as Brewers fans. Do the Packers have anything like this? I don't think they have a jersey number retired.
They got the one statue commemorating the Lambeau Leap and the fans, where they have like the different fans standing at the wall that are in statue, and you can walk up to and do a Lambeau Leap, and that's supposed to commemorate the fans.
Do they not have a Packers fan Hall of Fame?
I don't think so. Packers fan.
Because I said last year or the year before, I wanted to start the Brewers fan Hall of Fame.
Oh, they do have a Packers fan Hall of Fame. So the first professional football team to have a Hall of Fame, the Green Bay Packers enhanced that distinction in 1998 by establishing a Packers fan Hall of Fame. It was founded for the purpose of annually honoring a devout and longtime Packers fan.
Huh. Imagine that. Not real goofy, is it?
No, not goofy at all. That's, again, just a way of giving that type of distinction to the people that consistently, like you say, pay your checks, help you get this team up off the ground, are supporting your team consistently. Like it would be just a little something that would go a long way for sure.
It's just a little something that little would go a long way. I think that's well put. Okay, 10 or 70. Now, since we have the Brewers listening today, and they're going to go ahead and go through with this in a couple of years, we want 70 because that's the year the team was born on.
I think so. I like 70. Somebody said 82 too for the one World Series appearance so far.
No. I was going to cut that off right away. Not 82. Definitely not, because that means that's the pinnacle, and that is not the pinnacle.
There's going to be more. Don't worry.
Do you see the jersey behind me? I know I got the Uke thing up, but I also have the 70 up there, and I chose that for my jersey number 70, because that's the year the Brewers were born on. I could deal with that for the fans, or number 10 once Sal Frelick clears, or if he gives it up for the fan. Yeah, you could have a ceremony right out in front of home plate, podium and speakers and everybody, and Sal Frelick hands over number 10 to the fan.
I like it. I think he'd like it too. He seems like a guy who's for the fans.
No, sure. I actually talked to him about it. He said, no, I'm not giving it up.
Okay, never mind.
He said it's going to be a while, is what he said. All right, we'll take a break and get to Scooter Gennett. It's been a while since we've caught up with Scooter. He's played for both these two teams that are playing tonight at American Family Field, Brewers and Reds. We'll do that next. Wisconsin Sports Daily. There's Charlie Houston, Tim Allen here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. All right, welcome back. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Tim Allen, Charlie Houston in for the vacationing Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. We'll have post-game duties after the game tonight as the Brewers go at the Reds, trying to make it 3 in a row, and the Brewers trying to hit their high water mark of 22 games over 500 with a victory tonight. They've won 7 of their last 9 and just kind of doing Brewer-like things. Let's hit the fan guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. And catch up with my friend and former Brewer second baseman, Scooter Gennett. Scooter, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, Tim. Thanks for having me on again. It's always good hearing your voice.
Yeah, it brings you back to Milwaukee here a little bit. You've played for both these two organizations, all right? Do a little comparison with maybe the fan bases, maybe the market, maybe the I think the stadiums are somewhat similar in terms of hitting ballparks, but sort of compare these two organizations.
Oh man, you're going to get me in trouble, Tim. No, two great fan bases, obviously different though. The Brewers and just Wisconsin fans in general, I think have a little edge to them. They invented the tailgate, Bob Uecker just seems, it's like he kind of, his energy is just still out there and I think will always be. And the Reds is just more of that like old school kind of, we've been here, done it. We expect it. Being a Reds fan growing up myself, that's kind of what I was expecting. I was born in 1990, the year they won the World Series, and then I didn't get to really witness one though. And I was frustrated, so I share their frustrations. Just like the Brewers were frustrated when I played, but now seem to be winning almost every single season and have really turned things around. So as far as the stadiums, I think you hit it on the head. They're both pretty hitter friendly. Personally, I didn't see the ball that well in Milwaukee. Not making any excuses. It's just fact. I didn't see the ball that well. And what I mean by that is more of my depth perception. And like, I couldn't really pick up the seams that well. I could see the ball like glowing white, but I couldn't really tell if it was a fastball, changeup, or curveball, which can make it extremely hard to hit. To where at Cincinnati, I saw the ball very well. So for me, if I could choose, I would rather hit in Cincinnati.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I couldn't see it either. So it's both of us. But explain that we've had a couple of Brewers. One, the latest, Owen Miller, who grew up in the Milwaukee area. And got up for the Brewers and actually hit a home run early in his Brewer career. He's gone now, but explain that had to be cool. You growing up a Reds fan, and then you put the Reds uniform on, and then it's asking for autographs, and you're seeing it from a different viewpoint. That had to be a dream come true.
It is. It's so hard to put into words, Tim. I've just had so many amazing blessings in my life, and it just falls in that category of I can't make sense of it other than hard work pays off and dreams can come true. But yeah, very surreal. Those first couple weeks were really surreal. I even remember when I was told that I got released or DFA'd, and then I was like, my heart kind of sunk, and then they were like, but you're a Cincinnati Red now. And I'm like, what? Like, what is going on?
I mean, you had to be fist pumping and let out a scream. I mean, you get to go to that team, your team. Wow.
Yeah, no, it was really good. It's just the timing of it couldn't have been, I don't think, worse. The last day of spring training. When I'd like to say I'm a good dude, it's like they've already told pretty much everybody that's going to be on the team that they're on the team, and they actually had to go to a player and tell him he's not anymore. and and then I walk in and I'm the reason why, and it just, that always sucks. But yeah, I was welcomed though with open arms, and they gave me Brandon Phillips' number, and I was like, why would you do this to me? And they're like, well, it was either number 4 or number 72. And I'm like, all right, I'll take 4.
Yeah, no doubt. Brandon Phillips, I tell you what, I did not like him. He punished the Brewers. He always come up with biggest. I'll never forget. The Brewers were playing the Reds, and score was 10-0, and Phillips had a base hit in like the 8th inning, and he's fist pumping and flapping his jaws and all this, and I didn't like him. So I ended up that weekend, like a day or two later, I ended up in the Reds clubhouse doing a segment, I and the Enemy, for a radio show. And I just thought, I'm going to interview Brandon Phillips. Love the dude. Absolutely loved the guy. He was super, super good. So sometimes it's a little sports hate. And then when you get to know you guys, it's like, no, they're people. They're just people. Yeah. All right. I know, Scooter, you don't follow the Brewers. I mean, you're not going to, I'm not going to lay on you a 2-2 curveball last night in the 4th inning. I know you don't watch it articulately like that. However, I know you've been aware of a dude named Jacob Misiorowski. So
yes.
Yeah. Now, if put the uniform back on, you're going to be in the leadoff spot. Reds first pitch 6:40, and it's Scooter Gennett now up for the Cincinnati Reds. Scooter Gennett, and Miz is on the mound. How do you go at Misiorowski if you were in the box?
Oh, very easy. I'm sitting on 105.
That's easy enough.
Yeah, Tim, I never struggled with fastballs in the strike zone. That was never something that I couldn't handle, no matter how fast. It was all the pitches in the dirt that I didn't do well on. So I know he throws a few of them, but it seems like from what I see, and I watch a lot of highlights. You're right. I don't really watch them, religiously, but I see him blowing a lot of fastballs by guys, and I would just sit on the fastball. But there's those guys are doing that too. So there's got to be a reason why. He must be hiding the ball extremely well, kind of like Josh Hader did. You saw him throwing balls even at lower 90s now and they're still missing it. And kind of Mike Fiers-ish, where you just can't see the ball. But Jacob seems like he's more of like Weaver. Remember Jared Weaver?
Oh yeah. Just hey, if you can hit this, go ahead. But I'm just going to challenge.
Yeah, but like he was really across his body. Like he would almost step towards the third base on deck circle with his front foot, and then kind of angle across to where I can't imagine righties having a chance at hitting Jacob. But then I see these lefties swinging through it, and I'm like, wow, this kid's special. So he's got something going on that on TV when I'm watching, I'm like, I could hit that. But that I probably couldn't, especially being out of shape and 36 now.
Yeah.
You bring up Jared Weaver there, Scooter. He's a guy who, yes, was dominant when he was in that prime, but it was a kind of relatively short prime compared to some other great pitchers that we've seen come up in through the MLB. Jacob Misiorowski, how sustainable do you think this type of success is, and how quickly do you think hitters eventually catch up to that with the way everybody else is throwing in the hundreds across the league too?
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I'm not a big, I don't really know a whole lot about mechanics and health. And I mean, some people will act like they do, but I really think you never know when a guy's going to get hurt or something's just going to change in their mechanics, that they just lose it. But I think it looks like it doesn't look like he's overthrowing to me, which is really something really special, especially when you're talking about the velocity he throws. And his body, I mean, he's so long, and it's not only 105, but it's halfway to the plate out of his hand. So I think, and then across the body with that deception, I see him doing this for a really long time.
Yeah, it's fluid. I mean, it just seems fluid and natural.
It does. It looks so. I mean, it's funky. Like, he's a funky looking guy, right? Like, looks like Gumby out there, but you know, it works. It's the timing of it all just seems like if like a pitching coach would see it, they would be like drooling, you know. And yeah, I mean, you see it just the velo throughout the game. Like, I'll look at the highlights and just see it's like the 7th inning and he's pumping 104. It's like, you know, just exceptional.
It's crazy. The Brewers finally found that special dude. It looks like the leagues do adjust, and we all know that sooner or later he's going to have a bad day here and there. They all do. You guys have punished some really good pitchers over the years. Scooter Gennett joins us here on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. So, Scoot, just before you leave, I do want to ask you on a personal note, how's fatherhood? Everything good?
Everything's great. It is such a blessing, and just I'm so grateful to be able to be a dad. It took me a couple years. My son's 4.5, and it took me a couple years to really like for it to settle in. And now we have a 1-year-old daughter, and it's the coolest thing ever. I'm excited waking up in the morning. Just awesome.
It really is. And anytime you say, oh, they're at the perfect age, you'll say it the next week and the next year. Oh, they're at the perfect age. And then they're at the perfect age. And then they get to be 16 and buckle in. Trust me on that. You'll be challenged. Okay, final thing for you. I'm a positive guy. You know that, Scooter. And but it's hard when I hear industry analysts, real knowledgeable, intelligent people in the baseball industry, just sort of acquiesce and say, "Oh, there's going to be a lockout. There's going to be a strike. So forget about it." And here I'm thinking, well, why can't you negotiate every day until you get these things ironed out here? Why is it once a month and you propose this, and then they squawk through the media, and then they propose this, and then there's more squawking? And do you think that does this make sense? And I asked a reporter yesterday this as well. Why is this? There's so many hundreds of millions of dollars. Why can't we just all find a way to split that pie up to make everybody happy?
Yeah, I think you're right. You would think. I mean, it's what I do know, what I can tell you. I'm not in those rooms anymore. I'm not in the meetings. I've been very distant from the game, really, not intentionally, but you know, it's kind of nice. You got two different clubs, two totally different fraternities, and they're not friendly. They're enemies. They're the fraternities that want to fight each other. They're like the Bloods and the Crips. You got MLB and the Union, right? And when the MLB owners are out golfing with some front office guys or whatever, and like the cool thing to show is, hey, look at this deal this guy signed. And it's like a crappy deal for this player, right? Like that's what they do. That's what gets them up. And the same thing for the Union when they win an arbitration case, or when they sign, you know, you get these players that sign these deals that are really good, really, really good, maybe too good. And then the guy gets hurt. It's like, okay, the Union won that one. And it's like this, it's kind of like this stupid competition that why do we even do it? I'm just so far against. I would always support whatever the majority, you know, whatever they vote on, or, you know, the Union's going to stick together. And I believe them on that. And I always, if I was MLB, I would, but I still have my own beliefs and my own opinions. And I personally think you should just get paid for what you've done. Personally, like arbitration every year, let's run it. Have a good year. I think the fans would appreciate that more. The players might not like it, but it's like the good ones, they'll play and they'll make their money and it won't be a big deal. It's just, for me, I hate seeing a guy sign a huge deal and then pull the parachute out and not give a crap anymore, and then gain 40 pounds. And then, you know, like for me, I just wasn't brought up like that. So I'm on both. Like, I'm on both sides with it. But what I can tell you, like I said, is that anytime there's a deal that's done that the one side wins, they're like bragging about it on the golf course and
Wow.
like, yeah, it's just stupid. And, rather than let's love the game, let's acquire players that play the game the right way so we can show the youth, the way this game's been played for 100 years or so, like that would be great to see. And I just don't know if that's might be wishful thinking on my end.
Yeah, no doubt. It's just so many millions of dollars, man. It just pains me that we can't find. There's so much money. Everyone's happy. Everyone can be happy. The players, the owners, the concession stand workers, the tail. It's all of that. Scooter, I'd love to go on with you, but man, I'm short on time here. But it is great catching it. You sound great, man. You sound really, really good. I gotta say.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've cleaned some stuff up, Tim. Things are good. God is good, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys and hear your voice, Tim. And good luck to the Brew Crew.
Awesome. Scooter, Gennett, thank you, man. We'll be in touch.
All right, brother.
See you later. All right, there you go. Scooter Gennett, former Brewers second baseman and former Red. And I think he had a cup of coffee with the Giants as well. So our yearly conversation will move on. Wisconsin Sports Daily here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Well, happy Bobby Bonilla Day to you, Charlie.
Thank you. I'm celebrating.
How much does he get today? $1 million?
Let's see. It's less than it used to be, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think clock is ticking on that thing too.
It's coming to that 1.19.
Yeah, $1 million every year for 1 million years. Just brilliant accounting by Bonilla and his agent.
So smart.
It's just absolutely.
Whether you were
smart.
good or bad, you're getting paid for the rest of your life. That's awesome.
Yeah. Who wouldn't like? Well, 1.1 a year I make. Oh, I'll take that.
Yeah,
All right,
except to do nothing.
Hey, Brewers fans want, a lot of them want the Brewers to go all in this year. Go all in. What does that mean? We'll discuss after the break here. There's Charlie Houston, Tim Allen in for Sparky today. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Stick around.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Final hour here, Wisconsin Sports Daily, here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. In for Sparky, Tim Allen, and Charlie Usen. He's the anchor, the mainstay.
I do what I can
on the show. Coming up in 1 hour from right now, Wisconsin Sports Wrap Up with Tommy Wirtz. And then Tommy's got the leadoff show, 6 o'clock, leading into a 7 o'clock start time, a little different start time, ESPN game tonight for the Crew. And they're going after 3 in a row, and they better, because look what that Cub offense is doing. Gee, I wonder if the wind's blowing out at Wrigley.
Probably. I would assume so, considering that there's been like 800 homers from the Chicago Cubs in this game.
What's the score of that? 22 to something?
It is currently 23-3. That's what it finished at.
23-3.
And I think actually the Cubs had 8 total home runs, 3 of them being from Dansby Swanson, 2 from Michael Conforto, and then 3 others spread out from the team.
8 home run game.
Yeah.
Was Nestor Cortez pitching?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
If you recall last year.
Pretty sure he still doesn't have a job.
Yeah. That Cub game, that Brewer Cub game on Sunday, we may look back at that, and that may be the absolute tipping point for that Chicago team.
Yeah.
They lose that game. They're 7.5 back, still can't beat Milwaukee. Maybe they start second guessing themselves. Maybe the front office makes some determination at that halfway mark. 7.5 back, big difference. 5.5. You slip up one time, meaning tonight, you slip up. Again, Brewers are good. They're a really good baseball team. Believe me, one of the best in the game. But one simple loss, and it's 4.5, and it's game on. It's that simple. Brewers can't let up. Go out there and just do what you do. Continue to win ball games, because the Cubs are feeling themselves.
But the Cubs will also have their valleys, like they've had the past season, this season so far. Like the Brewers just constantly go on that roller coaster ride, like we were talking about yesterday. But it's a much tamer roller coaster than what you're getting from the Chicago Cubs. So I think you can also, as much as you got to be paying attention to what the Cubs are doing, you're okay too. Like, just don't get freaked out yet. Like, you're still going to be fine no matter what, as long as you keep playing your baseball.
Timing is everything too, as to, if there's a big peak and valley, well, what's the other team doing while you're in that valley? And that's the trick here. Just maintain, just continue to win series. You let once in a while, you're going to let a series slip by. I mean, it happens. But you continue to beat worse teams. The better team should win, and that should go without saying. Tonight, again, Tommy Wirtz gets you ready with all the details, leadoff show. Now, this broke earlier today in terms of the Brewers. Jesus Madej and Luis Pena will play in the All-Star Futures game coming up in a couple of weeks. They're expected to start, both of them.
I mean, they're both studs. It makes sense to me, man.
Andrew Fisher, a couple of more home runs last night. This farm system, man. So that does then lead to our Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, Packers conversation here in the 4 o'clock hour. I hear it all the time, and rightly so. We should talk about this. Brewers should go all in, is what I hear. I hear that not only this year, but last year, the year before that. On this run, the Brewers should go all in. Well, what does that mean? Okay, if you look at the Packers going all in, some would define that as the Micah Parsons deal. Some would define it as signing Jordan Love long-term. Some would define it as Matthew Golden. For the first time in a million years, they go wide receiver at the number 1. Does that fall under the definition of all in?
I think I would consider that all in.
Okay.
Seems like all those moves are big time moves that say you're going a certain direction. Yeah.
The Milwaukee Bucks, when they hired Doc Rivers, was that going all in?
I don't know if that's going all in, maybe more of a last ditch effort type of thing.
Maybe desperation.
I think trading for Damian Lillard was going all in.
That was definitely going all in, for sure. But again, it's such a gray area. And you would, so if the Brewers just get an impact reliever, would you then constitute that as all in? Most probably would not. Now, if they went out and got Skubal, if they went out and got an impact reliever, and they went out and got a third baseman, could we all agree that that would be all in?
Yeah, that would be about as all in as you can get, I think.
What would be the definition for the Brewers to go all in this year? What would be that definition for you? It's hard to answer.
It is, and I think most of that comes from the fact that it's the Milwaukee Brewers, and what does all in mean to them? Because we haven't seen them really do that. And I think CC Sabathia is probably all in. Trading for Zach Greinke is all in. Like those types of moves, I think, are what you can say is the baseline for what all in is for the Brewers.
Well,
but that's not to the same level as the other teams.
Signing Ryan Braun long term, signing Christian Yelich long term. Would that be an all in move? I would think so. It's a lot of money for this market.
It is. And I think those guys you just knew were going to be at the end of their careers considered Brewers legends, I think, and it kind of just felt like that. But then also, if that's considered something as, I think more Lorenzo Cain would be considered the all-in move when they signed him and brought him back to Milwaukee that second time around, and going out and doing those type of moves more so than re-signing the guys that were here before. I think it matters more for the Packers and Jordan Love in that position specifically at quarterback to do that, and that sends a different kind of message than these guys. That's Ryan Braun, it's Christian Yelich. You go, those guys are going to be Brewers legends. We have to make them Brewers legends by keeping them around long term. Giving people a jersey to consistently buy all the time, I think, is really important versus what we're considering all in, whereas that's to win a championship. That's to lock in a future for your team, for your roster, for your sales, versus just making a move for a guy that's going to send you over the hill for the time being.
January of 18, when they they made the Christian Yelich trade and signed Lorenzo Cain, same day.
Yep.
That's kind of an all-in deal, right?
Yeah, I would say trading for Yelich, maybe not like the contract itself. Yeah, I would consider that.
I think that could fall into the definition of some people's, quote, all-in, is the long-term signing and locked in of your stud player. Some may think that. What would be, in this case, for the Brewers, what would be the slide the chips in to the middle, push your chips in, go all in? It's not an easy thing I hear, as I said, I've heard it a million times here, and I don't disagree. I think at some point, by anyone's definition, the Brewers need to go all in. Whether that's this year, I don't know. Whether it's last year they should have done it or next year. I don't know the answer to that. But I do know this. Division titles are cool. Playoff appearances and series are cool. That's can fall under the definition of, quote, successful. Some people would disagree with that, but I mean, there's some extenuating circumstances there to define success. But to define by anyone's criteria going all in, at some point the Brewers have to do that. If they continually come up short, I don't mean that in a bad way, coming up short. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because 29 other teams come up short every year in baseball. But if we're so used to reaching, I'm putting my bar up here. If we're so used to reaching here, and that's the constant, at some point you would have to attempt to reach here, whether that goes against your organizational philosophy or not. You're going to have to try that way, because the pinnacle isn't sustaining this success of playoff appearances. The pinnacle is winning a World Series. We have to keep that in mind. That's the pinnacle. I don't mind a 10-year run of constantly winning division titles, constantly having, playoff appearances and playoff series victories and things like that. I don't have, nobody should have a problem with that. But at some point, I won't say, doesn't that get old? But isn't that a good thing if those things get old?
Yeah, but also we got to stop, in my mind, saying that's a good thing. Like, yes, it's nice, it's good to have that, but when it gets old, that also means it becomes a baseline. And when you're consistently just sitting at the baseline and not taking a step forward, that's where the problem starts.
So then what is all in for the Brewers this year? What is it to you guys on the Nicolay Law Talking text line? What then clearly is, when you tell me on the postgame show, when you squawk at Tommy on the postgame show, and you say, well, the Brewers need to go all in and really go. Oh, here's another one. Brewers need to go for it. What exactly does that mean? Be as specific as you can. 414-677-1250. Because quite frankly, I'm curious. I don't have exactly the players, but I can tell you this. A chips into the middle of the table and an all-in or going for it, I do know this, would mean you're giving up some prospects. At the very least. Can we all agree on that?
Oh, yeah.
At the very least, you're giving up prospects if it's, by anyone's definition, going all in.
It's going to be, I think, all in means at least 3 prospects, 2 of them being top ones. And you got a lot of them, so you got enough to feed.
You do. It's easy to say, but then it's hard to define. It's easy to say, let's go all in this year. Oh, yeah, I'm in. Okay, I'm with you. High five, Brewer fans, and it'd be great for a World Series. Damn, nice. We're going all in this year. And then you say, well, what does that mean, though? Is it signing Shelby Miller?
No.
From last year?
I don't think so.
Is it hoarding these prospects so you can continue to get those bites of the apple? And maybe the stars line up where this is the year where, by everyone's definition, it's not all in, but it's subsequent moves to last year saying, okay, well, this is a powerful move. Would it be all in, though? I don't know if anything the Brewers do to adjust or to improve their team this year by the deadline of, I think it's August 3rd this year. I don't know if that would satisfy everybody's definition of all in. But what if, now here's the pinnacle to this. The big side of that is, what happens if they make 2 moves and blow us away? And just absolutely, where everyone, they finally did it. Let's take a poll and throw it out there on social media. 100% said, yes, they finally did it.
Mm-hmm.
Could that happen?
I think there's players out there that could make that happen, potentially, for sure. But I don't think the Brewers do it. Like, there's names available that the Brewers could add. I mean, I would love to. I think you have the pieces to do it. I think you have 6 prospects that you should be willing to trade that are in expense right now, that you could trade for 2 top-tier trade players out there. You could trade for a Taylor Skubal and a Byron Buxton, or Mike Trout. Somebody put it in the talking text line, the 262, trade for him. Like, there's players out there that are going to be available that are going to be worth a lot of your prospects, but you have a lot of prospects. Why not?
But would that answer the bell of all in?
Yeah, I would consider it. I would say, again, the guy who's won 2 straight American League Cy Youngs, and then one of the current best outfielders in baseball, or maybe one of the greatest all-time outfielders in baseball. Yeah, man, that's all it, baby.
Most of these foundational players that are having success right now for this Brewers team, they'll be back next year. And you take a look around the diamond. Sal Frelick, team control. Bryce Durang, team control. William Contreras, team control. Jackson Chourio, signed. Cooper Pratt, signed. All these guys. Garrett Mitchell, a little different story. Clock's ticking on him. But most of these players will be back next year. So if you do make those moves, you may not necessarily pay the price next year, but every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So when you empty the bucket in the farm system, sometimes you do pay the price on that.
But your bucket's overflowing right now. That's the thing.
It
You
is,
have,
and
you
you'll pay
have
some
room to
price.
let some go.
But there would be a delayed reaction. So it wouldn't happen. You wouldn't pay the price until, a couple of years, couple of 2-3 years from right now, where those players would have been up and at them at the big league level. So the chips in, the all in, the go for it, it's not as simple as by definition as some people think.
Let's head on over to the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 446-777-1250. Q on the north side. You are on with Tim Allen.
Q, what would be all in?
Tim, I'm calling because I've been listening to you for 20 years, and you say the same thing every year, and I love it. I love how optimistic you are, but this team already acquired the biggest player they ever have this season. It's the big cow in the putt-putt course outside of the stadium that Mark Antonaccio put out.
That thing's awesome, by the way.
That's the big acquisition of the season. He took $250 million from the taxpayers, and he didn't put it into the roster. He put it into another summer of passion and entertainment. This team is for the kids. I love your optimism. I'm going to continue to listen to you and Sparky and Charlie talk about this team, but I'm not holding my breath for even a single big move acquisition this year. Like, we already did it.
And that is the entertainment center in the plaza?
Yep, the putt-putt course. I cannot wait to take my kids there. It looks amazing. Thank you, Mark A.
Okay. I totally understand. And thank you, Q. That really is where this definition, these two things are connected here. This all in is clearly connected and related to what someone's definition of success is. Is success solely on the field, or is success, in building some entertainment stuff for Brewers fans? By the way, that Plaza thing out there, they had live music. Can anyone tell me the band that was there?
No, I can at least.
I would love to know, just on a personal note. Was it an acoustic thing? Was it,
it seems like a pretty big stage beer garden area.
Was it a rock band? Was it a country band? What was it?
Probably country. I feel like that's been the popular thing around AmFam lately.
Probably a country band. Let's
stick on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Front row Ferguson, you are on with Tim Allen.
What's up, Fergie?
How you doing, Timmy?
What's up, man?
Good to hear you in the afternoon when the sun's up. Kind of like it. First of all, the $250 million of taxpayer money or whatever it is that was specifically earmarked for the stadium, it can't be used on payroll. So for whatever that's worth, that's why the cow is there. As far as all in, and I texted this in, but I'll repeat it. All in to me means you go get an ace, Screwball or Alcantara is my preference. To be honest with you, I think Brewers pitching coaching can make him into a Cy Young candidate. He's got so much raw talent, and he wouldn't cost nearly as much as Screwball. Add to that a third base bat. I think Chapman will be available. I don't know whether or not the contract is prohibitive.
It probably is monetarily, but you could figure it out where the Giants send some money, though.
Yeah, there's ways to work around it, and you're not going to be stuck with him for eternity. He's always movable. And then, finally, probably need another reliever somewhere along the way. I don't think that you need a leverage reliever necessarily, but somebody who's a reliable long man that would really kind of round everything out, take some pressure off the current roster. That's all into me, and I think this is the right time to do it because right now the Brewers have log jams at so many positions. I mean, you have I don't know if Brewers fans understand this. We have two starting shortstops in the Futures game and the All-Star game this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. and we just brought Pratt up. So now we have 3 top-tier prospects at one position. Now, okay, one of them might move to third. Where's the other one going?
Well, and also you have Jet Williams.
You have assets to burn at this stage. You can be conservative if you want and wait till they all come up, but there are enough roster spots for all of them. At some point, you're going to have to do something.
They're going to do some things here. Fergie, thanks for the call. We may talk tonight, but they're going to do some things here, and they do every year. Will they be subtle moves? Historically, and history tells us yes, there'll be subtle moves. Charlie, do me a favor real quick. Pull up the Brewer prospect list, their top 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to make a point here on prospects.
All right. So Jesus Madej obviously is the leader. Luis Pena 2, Cooper Pratt 3, Luis Lara, and Jet Williams round out the top 5. Want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Josh Amszewski at 6, Logan Henderson at 7, Andrew Fisher 8, Jefferson Cuero at 9, Bishop Letson at 10, Marco Dingus at 11, Luke Adams 12, Braylon Payne 13, Brady Ebel 14, JD Thompson 15.
Okay, there's your top 15. And there's one thing I can guarantee you right now. All 15 of those players will not work out. All 15. A bunch of them will. A bunch of them will. I always use the word, are you hit? Did you hit on that prospect?
Mm-hmm.
They're all not going to hit. We won't even know the names of some of these guys years from right now. They'll flame out. They won't work for a number of reasons. Just know that just automatically, if you have ranked prospects, it just doesn't mean that they're headed for stardom at the Major League Baseball level.
And again, if you feel like they all are, then you have availability to trade one of those guys for high value to another team that should clearly trust the Milwaukee Brewers scouting department and what they are selling. And if that's something that's there, you should have value there.
Yeah, yes. This is going to be fascinating. Absolutely fascinating what the Brewers do this year at the deadline. They're, again, an extremely good baseball team. But I still also believe that they're not playing their best ball. Clearly, their offense isn't. I'm not saying they're crappy. Their offense is nowhere near where they should be and where they will be. Will a shakeup in a lineup help? I don't know. Maybe. Will an acquisition, moderate as it might be, help things along? Maybe. Not sure. Would it be, Andrew Fisher there, the 8th ranked prospect?
Should jump up that board pretty soon.
He is in a sprint to get to the big leagues this year. He is doing everything he can. Now, can a team have a deep run, if not a World Series appearance and or win, when you have 2 rookies on the left side of your diamond? Chances are no. I'm just going historically, chances are no. Will you get one to pop up and just, whoa, look at this guy? Might be Cooper Pratt, might be somebody else. A lot of people are screaming for Jesus Madej. That would be going all in. Just bring him up now. I mean, there's so many different ways to define all this. But when the point is, there's good and bad in what the Brewers have done in the last decade. Real good in that, a bunch of division titles, winning, close to 100 games last year, beating the Cubs, and just great summers, and they're winning ball club, one of the best in baseball. And okay, how long do you do that before you change the blueprint or the plan? If it's another decade, okay, I get the bites of the apple philosophy. I don't know if it's this year, but I do know one thing. If this continues at the rate it's continuing, winning division titles, always being there, always being good, et cetera, at some point, I'll guarantee you they will go all in by anyone's definition, because it's tiresome for them too. Isn't the whole thing about this winning a World Series?
For most people. I don't know about for Mark Ananasio.
I still think he's a competitor in there, wants to win a World Series.
I just
But
think
he's not dumb.
I think he has to get older. Like, I think he has to get to a point where it like stops being about business and where he's just an old man who loves baseball and wants to be an owner of a team.
And says to himself, "This is fun, but
Right.
yeah, maybe, but I'm not a business owner. I don't, I don't have
I
to
don't
look
make
at
billions.
some of those
Yeah.
numbers. I don't see some of those numbers, but I do know one thing: if there's Brewer fans that think that losing money running a business is a good idea, I mean, you need to rethink things. He's not running this business to lose money. You wouldn't either. But where's the balancing act of going for it on a particular year? It doesn't mean you have to do the roller coaster thing and just go all in and then suck for 6 years. You don't have to do that. But to some degree, don't you have to change up a little bit? I'm not saying it's this year. May not be this year. But at some point, it will be.
And this year seems like a really good year to go and do it.
Might be. If Woody stays healthy and that front three and Harrison is legit, this might be the year. Unleash those arms in a playoff series. You might have the reverse of what happened with the Dodgers. Have those guys scuffling to score runs. And then you beef up your offense. I mean, it could be this year, Charlie. You're right. But what would you do? Put it on the rails and compete at a high level. Check. They've done that. They've done that, right? That's by all definition. It's on the rails and it is competing at a high level. Some of the highest levels in the game of baseball. Look at the win totals. Look at the playoff appearances. Look at the division titles. That's high level to me. But even at that point, if that continues, great. But don't you want that, just that next one? Of course you do.
Just a little bit more.
Of course, just take the next step. Yes, they were that. They were in the NLCS last year. I mean, think about that. This wasn't a wild card series, and then you got aced out. This was the NLCS on the doorstep of the World Series. I'd like that to get old, wouldn't you? Because the more times you're there, you're going to win one of those series. So what do? Do you go all in? And we come full circle now. What does that mean? Trading away prospects would be involved in my definition. I think, Charlie, you agree.
100%. You got to start moving on from some of these guys. Somebody points out 262 on the Nicolay Law Talking text line 446771250. FYI, the Brewers have 10 in the top 100 right now. 10% of the best prospects in all of MLB for one club. Silly.
Are they all going to work out?
Probably not. So
Probably not. Yes. Would be great if they all did, but I doubt they will. Will they all be good players? Probably. Will they all be stars? No, but some of them will. So you do have a future there with a whole handful. All right, you want a break?
Yeah, we got to get to it.
Okay,
we've been having fun with this one.
All right. We'll take a break. Wisconsin Sports Daily, Tim Allen and Charlie Houston in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer today here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. All right, welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Tim and Charlie in for Sparky today. Let's get to the Nicolay Law Talk and text line, 414-677-1250. Charlie, let's talk about going all in, shall we?
For sure. Howard in Sherman Park, you are up with Tim Allen here on Wisconsin Sports Daily.
Well, good afternoon, guys. You know, well, going all in is obviously going to mean you got to give up something. And since the Brewers are real good at developing what everybody else thinks is nothing players into something, that's not a big risk. But I think with the future proposals of the ownership, which would destroy the way the Brewers have an advantage in developing their minor leagues, the time is now, because now is all we know for sure. And maybe our friends over in New York and Boston, well, in New York, there's a fellow named Peralta who is would do well coming back, gunning for a recovery for his free agency next year.
Mm-hmm.
And, 10 years ago, our friends to the south at the deadline traded for a reliever that really rather helped them win the World Series.
Chapman.
Yes, Chapman, Aroldis Chapman. Now, he's not as good as he was, but he still would bolster the Brewers' bullpen. And I would think those two guys would be going all in. Bats, I'm suspicious of, because good pitching beats good hitting.
It does.
So those are my thoughts on going.
Okay,
Let's go get Freddie.
Howard, thank you for the call. Don't be a stranger, all right? Call anytime. It's cool talking baseball. But yeah, you're right. A bat can be volatile. Now, on the Freddie Peralta thing, I think a change of scenery, he pitches way, way better than New York Mets are a dumpster fire.
Well, and a change of scenery to a place that he's already very comfortable with. Yeah,
absolutely. And it'd be cheaper than Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams.
Yeah, probably. A lot of people have been saying just send Jet Williams back. I think it's cheaper than sending Jet Williams back at this point now.
I would send Jet Williams back in a heartbeat. I'd do it today. I'd do it today. Again, that's an affordable position and a surplus. All right, who's next?
All right, we're going to head on over to Tony in Asheville, North Carolina. You're on with Tim Allen on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Tony.
Yeah, I was just trying to check to see if that last caller actually nailed my text that I actually sent you guys about getting Aroldis Chapman. But first of all, let me say, Tim, what a pleasure to be on air with you. I've been loving the coverage. And let me also say you are blessed with some awesome sidekicks. I mean, they have excellent points, and they run the show, and it's just a pleasure. We love Brewers baseball.
Yep.
So, starting out, I listened to Brewers on the radio from Ladysmith, Wisconsin. So I'm going to go all the way back to that part of the show, because I got notes, man. I'm going to try to get it through it quick. I'll try to be as quick as I can. But yeah, once you get up there, northern Wisconsin, you're in what we used to call Indian Head country, just because the way it looks on a map. But northwest Wisconsin, yeah, you get up to Hayward. They got the Birkebeiner up there. And you go west, you got Bloomer from there. And if you want to rent a cabin, do some canoeing, Chippewa flowage, just all kinds of glacial lakes. So beautiful spot to go there. Yeah, absolutely. So, the next thing was my suggestion for the retired fan number, which I love the idea. Number 30. Wisconsin is the 30th state. Now, Milwaukee specifically is responsible for bringing baseball back to the state of Wisconsin. Let's not forget that. It's the Braves. And part of my origin story is Eau Claire Braves, where Henry Aaron played. We got a baseball. It looks like a little scrawl, but Henry Aaron on an autographed baseball, pristine condition. So it's got to be worth a few bucks anyway.
Oh, I think so. I would cherish that thing. Yeah.
But the number 30, Wisconsin is the 30th state, and the Brewers are into the whole state. You know, they got it on their sleeves, I think, for all the fans in Wisconsin.
What was Craig Counsell's number?
Oh, you got it right away, man. That was supposed to be the last part of the call. Oh, yeah. We got Moose Haas. All right.
Moose Haas. Oh, yeah.
Tyler Thornburg. Here's the other one. What other manager played for the Brewers under number 30? And
Ooh, good question.
Big clue. Who are we playing tonight? There, I gave it away. It's Terry Francona, man. He wore number 30 for the Brewers.
He did wear number 30. Yes.
I Googled this stuff. Yeah.
So 30,
Yeah,
I was with you all the way to the 30th state. I was thinking that could have some promise, but then I don't know if the Craig Counsell thing would have worked.
Except think about 30 as a fan. It's kind of an honor and it's kind of a snub. I think it's perfect. And then you put that up to next to Uke, 30 for the fan, and Uke is all about the fans and the players too. And
Perfect.
I'm sure he loved Counsell. We still love Counsell deep in our hearts. Come on, man.
I won't rule out that he comes back as manager of this team at some point in his life.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's rule nothing out. How about that, Tim?
You never know. I'm not saying I want it to happen. I'm just saying I wouldn't rule it out. So, Tony, I got a scoop, man, but great conversation. I appreciate it.
All right. And last up here, Brian on the south side of Milwaukee. You are on with Tim Allen on Wisconsin Sports Daily.
Hey, Jim. So, yeah, my memory, not quite as expansive as yours. I mean, I go back to the early 80s, late 70s. But, I mean, I was just telling Charlie, this is the most stocked I can remember a farm system really ever from the standpoint of top to bottom and number of quality prospects. But, I mean, going all in, I mean, you need to get some playoff experienced, type of grizzled veteran type of guy in there. Or, I think a bat, number one, playing probably third base, and then somewhere in the pitching lineup, whether it's a starter or someone in the bullpen. I think you need two players to get you over the top and, and of course, staying healthy.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. And let me expand on that. I appreciate the call. It has, you can't be afraid of a rental here. That is another, maybe a bullet point underneath all in. You can't be so hell bent on team control. I get that's important. But when I want splash value when they decide. I'm not saying necessarily, my opinion isn't go for it this year or next year or whatever. I'm just saying at some point they will. And maybe it's this year. I don't know. But Charlie, you see what I'm saying? Splash value, no doubters, whether they're rentals or not. I think this team over the course of, I would say 10, 15 years, it's pretty important to them if they're going to give up some farmhands that they have team control coming back to them. So it's not just the rental. It's for the rest of this year and you got them for 2 more years, or the rest of this year and you've got them for next year. I think if you're going to go all in, you have to disregard that.
Well, and with the state of the discussions going around the CBA in the future here, you could potentially have a salary cap and a salary floor where you need to sign guys like this. So if you have a Tarik Skubal, you go into the offseason, things get halted through a break, and you come back and they say you need a salary floor. Well, Tarik Skubal, you want a contract? Because now we have to meet a salary floor.
And we don't know if that qualifying offer is going to be off the table. I mean, there's so many different scenarios that could pop up with a potential lockout or strike. But who knows? Maybe they'll shock the world and make a trade or two that just people are like, whoa, wait, what?
That'd be so much fun.
Wake Tim up from his nap.
It's probably gonna be while Sparky's on vacation too. He's gonna be so excited.
And it'll be 12:30 and people are gonna be banging on my door.
Well, it'll be good news.
We need to get on the air. Brewers just made a trade for Skubal and Chapman and,
Mike Trout. Somebody said that in the chat earlier. I think that's fun. I don't think it's going to happen.
That would be cool.
That would be fun.
Ooh, boy. Gosh, him in a Brewers uniform, one of the best to ever play the game. Think about that.
That would be pretty cool. I'd be pretty happy about that.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll let you know what Sparky missed today. I will give you a little insider comment that I got from a colleague off the air about 10 minutes ago.
All right.
I think you'll laugh about it. That's on the way next. Charlie Houston, Tim Allen in for Sparky today on Wisconsin Sports Daily.
What story did Sparky miss talking about today on Wisconsin Sports Daily? Don't you worry. Sparky's got you covered now.
Oh, he missed it. He missed, he calls me crazy. Retire 10, Jersey talk. All in talk. He missed that. He missed Scooter Jeanette. So he missed a lot today. However, there's Tommy Wirtz. You've got Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up in just a couple of minutes. And then you have the leadoff show at 6.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a whole lot of Tommy here. Tommy at Night on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
And more on the news out that Madej and Pena.
Yeah.
All-Star Futures game. That's really cool.
Can you believe that they make a new MLB Pipeline Top 100 and Andrew Fisher's not in it and the Brewers still have the most? There's no shot. There are 100 better minor league baseball players than Andrew Fisher.
Or 99 in that case.
Well,
right.
Yeah, exactly. He's not in the top 100. That would make him 101 at minimum, right? Like,
come on.
He homers every day.
So there was a colleague of mine that after like a break or two ago, his name is Tommy Wirtz.
Oh,
stepped into the studio, Charlie. You heard it. And goes, "Can you just shut up, Tim?"
Yeah. Well, it was a joke on how long your first segment went.
I know.
I can listen to you talk for quite some time. I do it every night.
Exactly.
But I just think it's funny when Charlie's like, "Hey, Tim, can we break, please?"
He's in my ear.
While you're like screaming of "This is the year."
he's in my ear, and I'm like, I can hear him. But I just don't listen to him.
He's just locked in.
I would like to let you know a little inside radio secret. If we are in your ear, 90% chance it's take a break.
Okay, good. All right, so that's good to know.
Just assume that it's relating to a break in any way.
Yes.
Speak of the devil.
Yes, he just does it. The alternative would be someone's on the line, but otherwise, it's more than likely Tim, shut the hell up.
And then if it's not go to break, you would say, well, let's get in a call before you go to break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's cool. All right. Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up. Tommy Wirtz is up next. And also he's got the leadoff show getting you ready. Game 3, Brewers and Cincinnati Reds. Charlie, it was fun today.
Always
I appreciate
fun.
the help.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being around the past 3 days.
Tomorrow in this time slot is you and no, not you.
It's
You're
Aaron and Thunder.
Aaron and Thunder show here on
be
B92 while playing the hits. I just had to throw that in there. So stick around for Tommy. We'll see you tonight, Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show after the game. For Charlie, my name is Tim Allen. Stick around. More to come here on the Wisconsin Sports.